Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
Southeast Radio.
Welcome back to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with me, Karl Fitzpatrick. Well, Ireland is certainly riding a green wave, and my next guest, Ahmad Mu'azzam from Evocco, is certainly looking to reinforce consumer awareness about climate change with this business. Ahmad, I know that Evocco is certainly attempting to address the critical climate issues that are affecting our society today. But how did you first meet the company's co-founder, Hugh Weldon?
Good morning, Carl, and thanks for having me. So actually, Hugh and I met in college when we were studying our integrated masters in mechanical engineering. So that was a 5-year course. And we actually met during the first week, and we didn't really separate after that. And both of us were really into sustainability, so we sort of we were really interested in that. So we sort of focused on different solutions when it came to, say, renewable energies and electrical vehicles. So then that sort of just got us talking down that sort of route, and that's how we sort of came towards the ideas of Evocco.
So what is the concept behind Evocco?
Our mission is to help consumers make more sustainable food purchases. So what we do is we let consumers upload their food shopping receipts, and we give them a score based on how nutritious and climate-friendly the food is. And then we let them set sustainability goals and targets and provide them with personalised tips to help them actually achieve those targets as well. So for us, it's all about trying to make small changes every single day.
And how are you going to go about getting consumers to download this app?
So there's loads of different channels that we can go down, and what we find is we get a lot of traction on social media. So of course, that's the sort of main marketing channel for these days as well. But then also we're looking to work with different food companies, particularly food retailers and restaurants as well, to give that sort of in-store visibility. So at the time when people are actually making these decisions, that they can get some indication of what choices to make and actually get reminded that there is a tool out there for them to download that can help them make these changes.
And have you gone out and discussed the concept with many retailers to date?
So we've spoken with a lot of retailers actually, and the responses have been very, very positive. So it's not something that they can shy away from anymore. So it's like, for them, sustainability isn't this just new consumer trend, it's a new context. So they're feeling the pressures in their own supply chains, but also the pressure from consumers as well. So the response has been good. So really for us, it's about getting out there and trying to get more retailers on board.
And what information and advice will be shared with the consumers through the app?
So what we use is we give people a score based on their purchases. So we use the nutrient density per climate impact index. So it looks at all the beneficial and non-so-beneficial nutrients in the diet and weighs them against the CO2 involved in producing, transporting and packaging the food products as well. And what we do then is, based on those purchases and also that user's profile, we give them personalised tips on, everyday rules of thumb that they can use to make more informed purchases. But then also in some cases where it's relevant, we also give them recommendations for sustainable alternatives. So brands we know that are at the forefront of sustainability that we can push towards them.
Now, Ahmad, I assume that you'll be targeting the environmentally conscious consumer as the sweet spot user of Evocco.
Yeah, so what we can see is that, especially anecdotally from all the different retailers, we can see that consumers are having, the war on plastics. We can see even from the local elections recently, the green wave that came through in Ireland. So there's definitely that increased sense of urgency from consumers to want more sustainable options. So we definitely see it growing a lot in Ireland, and it's definitely coming from the bottom up.
And what's the revenue model for Evocco?
So for us, that was something that we thought of, and we spent a lot of time trying to think around, and we needed to be very aligned with the mission that we had. So for us, it's really providing data insights to food retailers and food brands to help them become more sustainable themselves. So helping to heal that disconnect between the consumer and food retailers by allowing them to transition their products to more sustainable offerings, and also being able to communicate that better with the consumers.
And to be in a position to offer that valuable data back to the product manufacturers, how many users of the app will you actually need for there to be value on that?
For that, so it's hard to put a specific number on that. I think at the minimum, we're looking at having about 5,000 users to be able to provide that good validated data to food brands and retailers. But also then For us, 5,000 is like the absolute minimum threshold that we want to cross very, very quickly. But it's really about reaching as many people as possible and trying to make as much impact as possible.
And are there any other apps out there doing something similar at the moment?
Yeah, so the main one that we would think of would be Gicky Badges in the UK. So again, they're a very good app, and what they do is they provide information on individual products. So people scan their barcode, and they tell you whether it's what eco labels are associated with it. So if it's say Rainforest Alliance or Fair Trade. And I suppose the biggest difference between us and them would be that we focus more on the progress tracking and helping you achieve your sustainability goals. So we add in, the CO2, the nutrition, but also you can see your historic performance over time. So we see ourselves more like a Fitbit for sustainable food rather than just providing information on a once-off basis.
And how important will it be for Evocco to create awareness about sustainable food consumption in order for the company to thrive?
So we definitely feel that actually on the awareness side that there's a lot going on. Even last week we saw what came to light a lot is the fires that are happening in the Amazon as well, and that became part of popular media as well. So I think on the awareness side, people do recognise that it's an issue. And for us, what we've realised from surveying a sample of users as well is that the main feeling is that people are overwhelmed but willing to act. So I think our main challenge will be trying to make people aware of not the issue, but that there are tools out there to help them.
And in terms of the opportunity for Evocco to work with food businesses to improve their sustainability, apart from providing and sharing data with them, is there an opportunity to be playing a more consultative role?
Yeah, definitely. So I think for us, it's really about trying to make whatever data that we provide actionable. So if it involves some of that sort of consulting to try and get them to use it and utilise in the most effective way, that's definitely something that we would consider as well.
And as you grow in popularity, do you plan to transfer the same principles of environmentally conscious food purchases to other consumer purchases?
Definitely. So I think that's a good bit further into the future, because food in itself is a whole challenge. But different areas that we looked at as well were sort of the sustainable fashion industry, so trying to tackle that challenge as well. And I think for us, because we would see the main competency here being able to help people change their behaviours, it would be looking at fast-moving consumer goods in particular.
And what do you envisage as a core challenge for the business over the next number of years?
One of the core challenges is definitely making the process as seamless and easy as possible for consumers, so making it a no-brainer. So for us, really, we can see that scanning the receipt at the moment could be something that only maybe the most motivated users might do, but linking it up to loyalty card schemes and to digital receipts with the likes of, say, a Revolut or something like that, we can really then make it just part of the process, so it's a no-brainer, and just limit all the barriers then for any user to be able to reduce their impact.
And in terms of funding, how have you funded the business to date, and what's the future plan in relation to raising funds?
So to date, we've done a lot of bootstrapping. So both you and I, when we decided to start this business, moved back home. And we've been keeping ourselves afloat, doing a lot of competitions and raising different grants. So a lot of non-equity grants to try and really take us as far as we could before looking at venture funding, and to be able to then afford some of the contracting work and bring other people involved on the journey with us as well. So the plan is then to open up our seed round later on this year. So so if anyone's interested in that as well, to keep an eye out by signing up on our website.
And are you viewing Ireland as a test market before you go off internationally to expand the business?
So definitely so Ireland though is often used as a test market, and just because of the size of itself. But I think for us, Ireland's always going to be an important market for us. And we do have international expansion plans, and looking abroad, looking particularly in mainland Europe at the moment. But Ireland will always be a market for us.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Ahmad Mu'azzam from Evocco, and I think that the concept behind this business will certainly resonate with those that are both climate and health conscious.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
Southeast